Okay, I think this is going to be the final video on the Gremlin head-on self-test program. So I built a new chip board here, and I've added a switch, so it lets me switch between the two banks. On one bank, I have the self-test program, and on the other, I have the code for the program. So I think it's 163, yeah. The code for ROM 163 from the Gremlin head-on repository. So with the switch in the on position, if you look at the top of that, it says on. If I can get enough light on the subject here. Wow, that's not working out very good. So the switch is marked as on, and that's it. So in the up position, it's on, down is off. So in the on position, that runs the self-test. So, and that's from power up. You'll set the switch to on and then turn on the power to run the self-test. So all RAMs are good, and all the ROMs are good. So if I switch the switch on, it does go into gameplay. But if you go the other way, if I switch it the other way, it just locks up. It may be possible to program it to go back into self-test from gameplay, but there is no room left on the code. I wouldn't know what vector to use for that, actually. I guess it would be an interrupt vector or something. It's not in halt, so if I flip this back into gameplay, I guess it comes back on. It shows it coming back on. Let me try that again. So if I flip it like that. So it looks like the self-test tried to start there, but, you know, it's not resetting. It's just changing the upper bit so that it's pointing to the second bank of memory. Anyway, still, this is handy. You'll put this chip in your board, and now you see here it's in halt. So it went in between the two programs and got confused. And then when I kept just flipping that back and forth, eventually the program halted, and there's nothing you can do but do a reset at that point. So anyway, the point would be is you'd set this game into self-test, you know, the switch to on, and then you would just short these two things together to do a hard reset on the processor, and then that would start the test. And should have RAMs okay still. Nothing's changed. RAMs are okay. So if you're happy with it, if you're there and you flip the switch, it will go into game mode. So there you go, game mode. And that's the best I can do with the memory I have. And honestly, I don't know what I would do to try to make it where you could go back into self-test after the game's running. There's several different vectors available in Z80, and I don't know which one it would be. It wouldn't be reset. I wonder, is there a command for reset? But still, how would you cause it to do a reset if it's in the middle of the game program? I mean, that's kind of an unknown state, isn't it? We don't know where we are in that thing. Anyway, that's it. This is just a little handy thing so that I have a self-test on the board now, and I don't have to keep removing and installing chips to run the self-test. That's it for this video. I appreciate you watching.